there's been a lot of hype over Runemaster, but one of the least hyped up new skills is one of the skills at the very top of the Runemaster skill tree. So if you're a Runemaster, you get access to your capstone skill, which is equivalent to your meteors and to your shatter strikes, whatever the skill is that goes along with your masters. You get runic invocation. And then if you're Runemaster, the two skills that are beyond the halfway point are Rune Bolt, which is pretty cool. I can tell you in a separate video if you're interested in what Rune Bolt does. It's a very good mana generator, and it has a lot of synergies all over the place with different skills. So I kind of like Rune Bolt. I'm a little bit skeptical of it as a main skill, but it's still good, and I like it. It's got some cool stuff going on. But today we're going to talk about the top skill for Runemaster, which is Glyph of Dominion. I realized that after I spoiled a whole bunch of stuff for Runemaster, and then watching other people spoil stuff about Runemaster, there hasn't been too much discussion about about Glyph of Dominion. So I went back, and we had images of everything that Glyph of Dominion does. And I have to warn you before we go over this. I looked at this, and I read everything, and then I turned around to tell somebody else what Glyph of Dominion did, and I already forgot. So to set expectations right there, I don't know what to do with it. I'm not particularly excited, but maybe you with your enormous brain, as I realize that it's kind of warm down here and I'm gonna take my hat off, maybe you can figure out what to do with the skill. So let's do one of these. And let's take a look at everything. Oh man, that's what's gonna happen when I try to make the screen bigger. Whew, that's something. All right, you can zoom in if you want, because apparently I don't know how to zoom in. What a website. All right, so Glyph of Dominion. It places a lightning glyph on the ground that grows over time, so it gets bigger. It deals lightning damage over time, so it's spell, LE dot, cool. It slows enemies. At full size, it detonates one time, dealing a large amount of lightning damage to enemies within its area. So it does have a hit component. You can have one glyph active at a time. And spell, int, lightning. I don't know exactly what the damage effect is, because we didn't get to hold down alt for this. But let's go through this and see what Glyph of Dominion does. We know that there's a couple things that interact with Glyph of Dominion. We know that in the mastery, there's some bonuses that, like, you get extra mana regeneration if you're speccing into it while you're standing in your Glyph of Dominion. In things like Rune Bolt, there's synergy. In things like Flame Rush, there's some extra synergy with Glyph of Dominion, but we're not going to go over that. We're just going to go over the skill tree. So I've got a whole bunch of tabs open. Let's click on them. You can place down an extra up to 2 Glyphs of Dominion, but but Glyph of Dominion costs more mana. When the first glyph explodes, the second one does also. The second explosion deals more damage the further it is from the first one, up to a maximum of 60% more damage. So if you're scaling the hit damage of Glyph of Dominion, maybe you can do this. I know off the top of my head, there is a node that makes the Glyph of Dominion explode multiple times. So instead of having it explode once, you could have it explode like 3 or 4 times. Maybe you take this one and you have both of them exploding 3 or 4 times. That could be some synergy. But if you're placing them far away, maybe this is a node that, like, you're using it for clear speed. You place one down, you keep running through the map, and then that's like your clear speed skill, and then you have a different skill for a single target. I could see that kind of thing happening. Glyph of Dominion deals more damage, costs less mana, pretty generic node. The Glyph Explosion deals more damage per stack of slow on the target. So this is 8% per point. 8 times 4 is 24. And then 24 times 3, because you got 3 stacks of slow on the target at any time, because like 3 is the maximum stack of slow. So this is 24% more damage per point. I mean, that's not bad. I don't know how the skill is, because honestly, I didn't really mess around with it too much. But this node, 8% times 3 stacks of slow on the target. Remember, this thing also has a slow that it applies. That's pretty good. I can see it. You cast Elemental Nova in the middle of the glyph if you stand inside it when the delay from Doom Scribe starts. Additionally, you gain a stack of Fire Aura. You can cast Ele Nova one time. I guess it could apply a spark charge for you. It could deal damage, I suppose. Fire Aura is not something that really has a payoff. And I don't remember in any part of Runemaster seeing something that makes you want to have fire auras. Also, some of the payoffs for fire aura are in the top half of the Spellblade skill tree. This does not look interesting to me. I don't see this being useful. Glyph Dominion expands faster and lasts a shorter duration, which means that it explodes sooner. Per amount of missing mana, this decreases the time before it reaches its full size. So it'll grow to its max size faster, and then it'll explode faster. Less duration per 3 missing mana. So if you have this costing a lot of mana, then you cast it once, it detonates sooner. I guess that's cool. I don't know. We'll see. Let's keep going. I don't want to take too long in this because there's a lot of stuff to read. Glyph Dominion expands faster, which means it will explode sooner, and lasts a shorter duration, so it makes it snappier. This decreases the time before it reaches its full size to detonate. Worthwhile that if you're using this for a buff, like while standing in Glyph Dominion, you probably don't take these nodes. But if you're using Glyph Dominion for damage, then you probably do want these nodes. Glyph Dominion expands slower and lasts a longer. This increases the time before it reaches its full size to detonate. Good. So here, this is the one you take if you are using it for buffs, right? There we go. Glyph Dominion has additional charges, and all charges are refreshed whenever you cast Runic Invocation. I messed around a little bit with this. It's like a 1-2 combo kind of thing, but you can put down a Glyph Dominion, cast your Runic Invocation, put down another Glyph Dominion, and then remember, you can only have 2 of those at a time, and then they can explode at the same time. So there's some synergy if you want to work with this kind of stuff. The one Glyph Dominion build that I tried out was using Perfect Design here, and this is all the nodes on the bottom left of the skill tree. So I don't remember too much about exactly what I did because I wasn't really impressed by the skill, but what I did try was using this node with Runic Invocation. Glyph Dominion now consumes the runes from Runic Invocation on cast and gains additional effects per rune that you have. The lightning rune, wait, this one? No, Ra's fire. The fire rune deal per rune you have. If you have one of these, it's damage per. Okay, so if you have 3 of them, and it's 0 out of 1. If you have 3 of them, it deals 90% more damage. Okay. If you have some Heo runes, it has Frostbite. Inflict stacks of Frostbite per second per rune. So you could have 5, and then you could have 3 of those. So you could have 15 Frostbite stacks per second. You could maybe you could have Glyph Dominion last a long time, and then you have your 3 cold runes get consumed, and then it inflicts 15 stacks of Frostbite per second. That could be interesting. And then you have some area stuff here. It's worthwhile to mention to you that consuming the runes from Runic Invocation, there is synergy here. There are nodes that say if your runes have been consumed by a skill other than Runic Invocation does this. So there is synergy with this first line of text up here. Read the Runic Invocation skill tree if you want to know exactly what that does. Here's the next one. Glyph Dominion has a cooldown, which is refreshed whenever you directly cast Runic Invocation. We saw this one every day. It also deals more damage per rune from Runic Invocation without consuming them. Okay, so this is the prior node in this branch to the left side here. So you can take this, or you can take the follow-up stuff as well. After Glyph Dominion, after Glyph of Dominion, its full size, it now has a short delay before it detonates. There's probably a word here. After Glyph of Dominion reaches its full size, it has a short delay before it detonates. Got it. Here's next. Glyph of Dominion deals more damage over time per stack of armor shred on the enemy with a maximum bonus of 40%. That's exciting. There is some stuff that converts all of your armor shred chance into frostbite chance. So there's some anti-synergy there if you're trying to do this and frostbite. But having armor shred that benefits damage over time, that is exciting. I kind of like that. It's cool synergy. Glyph Dominion's damage over time part deals more damage for each second that it's active. So I guess if you're trying to keep it, I guess there are those nodes that make the duration shorter. So if you're only scaling the hit damage, you want the duration as short as possible. But if you want to scale the damage over time, maybe you want it to last as long as possible so that you can juice up this node. That's kind of cool. Maybe some single target spell damage over time for this node here, this Wreak Havoc. Disintegrate, this is important because Disintegrate, spell damage over time. This thing, also spell damage over time. Disintegrate deals more damage and grants you ward per second if you start channeling it while standing in your glyph. So this is 4 points, so this is up to 40% more Disintegrate damage. That is kind of cool. Glyph of Dominion deals more damage over time, pretty generic node. This is 20% per point, and it's 5 points. So this is up to 100% more damage over time. It's a cool way to scale. Wow, that kind of is a lot of damage, isn't it? Whenever you or your allies enter your Glyph of Dominion, it cleanses ailments and grants haste for a short duration. Leaving and re-entering the same glyph does not cause this to enter or to happen a second time. That's kind of cool. So remember, you can have Glyph of Dominion appear at the end of your Flame Rush. So if you're using Flame Rush as your movement skill, you can spec into the synergy with Glyph of Dominion. So every time you end your movement skill, you get cleansed. That's kind of cool. Oh, I don't mind that. I mean, you have to spec into it, and there's an opportunity cost, but it is kind of cool. This was something that I saw people using. I don't know if I buy it, but there is some payoff for having a bunch of resistances. If you are a cold res stacking person using the frostbite gloves, that gives you extra ward retention, you and your allies gain additional resistances. So this is all res. You could have 75 all res. You could have no res on your gear whatsoever. In fact, your allies could have no res on their gear whatsoever, as long as you're standing on Glyph of Dominion. Cool. Okay. I saw someone use this. I saw Tarek use this. Can finally cap minion res. Well, it says allies, and it's unclear whether allies means your minions as well. Because I'm not a minion player, and I don't know whether this wording tends to be consistent or whether it tends to be inconsistent. I have no idea. But I suppose it's worth testing whether you could be a support Runemaster for an Acolyte so that you could give res to your Acolyte companions, minions. You multiplayer people, you. All right, let's keep going. After casting Glyph of Dominion, you gain static charges at an accelerating rate while standing still until your glyph detonates. For all the static builds that I've played, I've never had a problem generating generating static charges. So maybe this is interesting, but to me, it doesn't look like it. Standing still? Gross. Glyph of Dominion is now cast at your current location instead of at your cursor, and it grants you and your allies ward per second per uncapped resistance while standing in your glyph. So, oh, look at that. And then you have the 75. Oh, whoo, that's a lot of ward per second, isn't it? Wait a minute. Wait. Glyph of Dominion, and it's every resistance? So uncapped does not mean beyond 75. It means without respect to the cap. So if you have 0 res across the board, and then you have 10 fire res, this would give you 3 ward per second, right? So uncapped means without respect to the cap. That's kind of a lot of ward per second. Huh. And there's already pretty good support for ward per second, along with like the mini Vessel of Strife that's in the mastery. That's kind of interesting. I don't hate it. Yeah, it's like 300 ward per second. Yeah, all right, it's a lot. It's a big number. It's not damage, but it is a lot. Okay, let's keep going. Glyph of Dominion deals damage in a larger area. Cool, I suppose. Your Lightning Blast now chains while you are standing on your glyph, but consumes mana when cast this way while you are at positive mana. You can be a negative mana? Okay, so to me, the most useful thing about this is that you could combine this with like Static Orb to add additional chains, and then your Glyph of Dominion could add additional chains, and then your chains, you have those halved, and then you have them chained at a single target. I forget the name of the node, but there's the node in Lightning Blast that makes them chain to make them chain to the same target, and that is one of the best single target things that you can do in all of Last Epoch. So if you're trying to juice up your damage, this is definitely a node to combine with Lightning Blast that you should be interested in. It's pretty good. There's 3 additional points here. So it's like half rounded up, so you'd have to do some math there. But like having 3 additional chains, that's potentially tons of damage. It's a little bit of mana, but you can always combine that with... Oh, you can't. You can't combine this with Arcane Ascendance, because Arcane Ascendance is on the top half of the Sorc Mastery, and this is also on the top half of the Runemaster Mastery. So you have to figure out what to do with your mana there. Maybe you could just do like the mana refund for Static Orb, which is how I enjoy playing Static Orb. You go like Static Orb once, and then you Lightning Blast 3 times, Static Orb once, Lightning Blast 3 times. If you did that and combine it with Glyph of Dominion, that's pretty good. Yeah, there we go. That's some interesting stuff there. Let's keep going. We got like 6 more to go. You and your allies gain increased area to spells and attacks while standing on the glyph. It's 0 out of 1, so this is just a little 1-pointer for 30% AoE. Normal and magic monsters have a chance to be stunned every half second while standing on your glyph. The ignite frequency from burning symbol. What the hell is burning symbol? Hold on. Burning symbol. Okay, let's reorder these tabs real quick. Okay, so there's a fire conversion here. Let's take a look at this. Glyph of Dominions is the top right of the skill. The base lightning damage is converted to fire. Consequently, it scales with fire instead of lightning. Shock chance is converted to ignite chance. Swaps the lightning tag for a fire tag. Ignite chance is halved for minions and other allies. Cool. Let's go like this as well. Glyph of Dominion ignites enemies on the glyph every half second. So this could be 3 ignites per half second. So 6 ignites per second. Igniting or applying any ailment, applying a damaging ailment at a stack per second ratio tends to not be very good unless it's like 50 or something, but that doesn't happen. So like 3 ignites per second, 5 ignites per second, 10 ignites per second. None of that really inspires me to build around it. But let's see what the rest of these nodes are, because we have this one here. The ignite frequency from burning symbol is increased by your ignite chance. See? Man, reading comprehension. Hold it. The ignite frequency is increased by your ignite chance. That's what I'm talking about. That's kind of exciting. The thing that excites me about this is like it's a spell that applies an ignite and also rewards you for building ignite chance, so you could combine it with another hit-based skill that also has ignite on it, right? Yeah. You could get 1k increase. Remember, in Frostwall, which is another spell damage over time, there's a fire conversion for Frostwall that gives you more damage per your ignite chance. You could potentially play a build that scales ignite chance and then also doesn't hit enemies because there's synergy, right? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, okay. Not garbage? Maybe. It could very easily be garbage, but it's interesting. 1k increase is 60 ignites per second. That is... Yeah. All right. Now we're cooking. It's 60 ignites per second, but it's also you don't need to be holding down right click. So you could be avoiding attacks or running around. Yeah, okay. That's kind of cool stuff. There's some fire stuff going on. The last one here is you and your allies gain additional shot chance while standing on your glyph. So you could get, it's 20 per point, so 80. You could have 80 ignite chance, because then it gets converted over to this, and then your ignite chance makes the ignites happen faster. Yeah, okay. There's some stuff going on here. Listen, why did I not remember what Glyph of Dominion does? As somebody in chat just said, it's got 20 different random things going on. It's kind of got a lot going on. But this is interesting. Okay, I'm actually more excited for this now that I've slowed down and read the entire thing out loud. Because in the past, it's like, what the hell is this thing supposed to do? But now, like, there's some Ignite stuff. If you wanted to build around that, I could see it. The damage over time actually looks fine. I'm more excited for the damage over time aspect of this than I am excited for the make it explode multiple times and then scale the crit damage. That excites me less than the damage over time portion does. I kind of like damage over time. Yeah, all right. So again, all of this is going to become playable. This is subject to change. It could be updated before we get access to it on September 7th, but that's still about a week-ish, week and a half or so away. Let's see. Can I get my calendar to pop up real quick? It's about a week and a half away. So I expect that we'll have patch notes on September 5th or September 6th, but September 7th is when Runemaster will be playable. So in the background, I'm going to keep leveling up my character that has no mastery to level 100, so that when Runemaster becomes playable, I can spend all weekend messing around with all the different stuff that we've been talking about here on stream. So that's Glyph Dominion. I'm more excited than I thought I was going to be. I'll see you next time.